Okay, these are all the pieces we got to figure out. Man, that yoke is a girly little yoke. No offense to the girls, but look at the length of it. And it's got this tiny little universal. Good job, Mopar guys. It's a 727 yoke. 727 yoke has one master spline in the center. See it down at the bottom? Anybody know what that master spline's for? Come on, we got some drive shaft, guys. That's so this could slip in and out and has a place for air and liquid to slide through. Because if this is out and that fills up with liquid and you go to push it in real quick, you're going to blow out the Welch plug. But that has a passage now. Not a master spline. Okay, we got that back joint out. We got the front joint out. So now we no longer need the drive shaft sitting here. But this is what I'm talking about with phasing. See how they're in the same orientation? You're supposed to actually be able to lay these on a perfectly flat surface and it not rock. Meaning when it rocks, this hits a flat spot on this one, then when it rocks, it hits a flat spot on the front one. They're supposed to be dead in line. How can you switch the phasing? How can you get it wrong on a split shaft? When you put it back together, if you put it one spline off, it'll be off by about that much. It'll be out of phase. Well, you can put a 90 off if you don't know any better. Okay? And remember to speed up, slow down in sequence. Okay? So if you move this over, it's going to do it out of phase. Okay, guys. That's what we got. This is what we have to work with. We are using this yoke and that flange. Everything else we're not using, but we need it for measurements. As you can see, the front yoke is pressed off the Chevy drive shaft. You can see the universal is pressed out of the Mopar drive shaft. What I did was I measured from here to here with no caps, from here to here with no caps. And the cross is square, meaning it's equal. But I still used my original spots. I wanted to make sure it was the same because I needed to use those caps. Okay. This is what we have. We have we labeled these. Okay. I put the caps back where they belong. We have this is for the 8.8 flange. I measured here, I measured here, and I wrote on there that it was an external clip, which it is. Okay, and that measurement is 3.645. The cap is 1.0664 thousandths. Okay, so that took care of this end. Now the smaller end, which is the end that's on the Chevy, I used the Chevy joint. About that. Okay, the Chevy joint is the smaller side of this Spicer joint. Okay, I don't know why I got lost. Okay, and I took a measurement across these two, which is 3.223. Okay, and I took a measurement across the caps. The caps are the same exact size on this one as 1.063, and I confirmed that by slipping them in. I slipped these caps in here. You can just see it touch when it gets to the resistance. It'll get to the right size, and the same with the other one. So that gave me that joint, and that's an external clip also. Don't go by the caps that are on here. Whatever joint this guy bought had internal clips, but he was using external. So the double confirm that the 8.8 has external clips. She can't put internal clips in there, so it's not machined for it. And the drive shaft had external clips, which all the clips are laying here somewhere. Okay, so we have external, that's all important. Now, that's the rear of the shaft. The front of the shaft, the Chevy side, okay, which is this one right here, I pressed it out of the shaft, is identical to the small one of here, but it has the right caps on it. It's not of quality of a joint either. So this is 3.223 across. That's 3 inches, 1.223, so 223 thousandths. The cap diameter again is 1.63 thousandths. Okay, so that takes care of half of the front joint. The other half is this Mopar end. Okay, so to do that, I had to press the joint out of this. I confirmed, like I said earlier, that it was square, but I did use the two sides that were not pressed into here. Whoops, that were not pressed into here, that were pressed into the yoke, because they were clean. That's how I knew which ones they were. I put the caps on. I measured across the caps, and that measurement is 3.142 thousandths internal clip. Okay, that's important. So far I got external, 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 internal. And you got to make sure you get the internal on the right side of the cross. Okay, now before we get into that, I measured this cap because I realized this cap was bigger than all the rest of the caps. Okay, Mopar used a beefy cap and a miniature universal. This cap is 1.77 thousandths. So it's about almost 15 thousandths bigger in diameter. The needle bearings in the hole could be the same size. I didn't even bother measuring them. Okay, now that leaves one last measurement. Okay, on the external ones, on the external snap ring ones, you already took that measurement when you measured the width of it. On the internal ones, they need to know where this groove is and this groove is in relationship to each other, because they machine them different on the caps. The caps are different. So you can get the right universal and have the wrong cap in this machine in the wrong spot. So that measurement is 1.993. So it's 1.993 thousandths, almost 2 inches. But you don't almost anything on universals. Okay, that 7 thousandths can make a big difference. So these were the clips we pulled out. The reason I'm showing it to you, I'm going to show you the difference between an internal and an external. Okay. Those are externals. Here are two internals. Okay, the internals go on a machined flat surface. As you can see, that surface is machined and there's a shelf here. So after you put it in, it rides right alongside here and stays there. Whoops, stays there, which is in this groove. Which you can see that the baby's stretched out. I stretched the living crap out of it getting it out. And that keeps the cap from walking out. On the GM ones and the Ford one, they use an external clip, almost like you're using a piston. And that gets squoze and put in. This brings up an interesting point. When I worked for Mitsubishi a million years ago, if you did a universal for Mitsubishi and you ordered one, it would come with 5 sets of 4 clips. So there'd be 5 bags, and in each bag had 4 clips, and each clip was a different color because they were different thicknesses. So if you ever get one and you see these two, the telltale problem is when you see these 2 tangs sticking upward, that means somebody put it in there and then they forced it to get the next clip in. So this one bends outward. So right now your drive shaft's not in line. And just like anything else, just picture your wheel not being centered on the hub. That causes its own little vibration. So Mitsu actually supplied you clips to press them so they were just right. Woo! And let me tell you, they were only a couple thousandths difference each one. But that's the difference between quality and aftermarket shit. Not that all aftermarket stuff is shit, but a lot of aftermarket stuff is generic because they weren't sitting there in the meetings when all this stuff was designed. Think of it that way. And they went by a set of specs, just like my coil springs that we pulled out. So I'm probably going to get spicer joints. They used to be good. I don't know if they're good anymore. I'm not really a dry shaft guy.